and by Van Dam Chiropractic. See Dr. Scott Van Dam for sports injury rehab, including care for concussions and headaches. That is your student athlete of the day. Congrats to Truman Weremeyer, state champion. He was on top of that podium last weekend.
4.2 GPA.
How's that for a smart cookie right there? Yep.
Way to go.
Absolutely. Okay, 8:21 here on the Need to Know Morning Show, and it is time for the Luther Family Ford Salute to Law Enforcement, and we are honoring the West Fargo Police Department here this month, and we are pleased to have in studio today Officer Grant Richardson, and Grant is the honoree this month in the Luther Family Ford Salute to Law Enforcement. Hey, Grant, how are you, man?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for coming on over. We got to make a big deal out of you on Monday over at Luther, and now we're embarrassing you again, putting you in the chair here in the studio. So thanks for coming over. Tell us a little bit about getting into law enforcement. Is it something you always wanted to do, or a little bit later in life?
I guess kind of something I've always wanted to do. I tried to do a different career path when I was in college, but just what I was into, and came back to it, I guess, is kind of just how everything worked out. Originally, I went to school for criminal justice, and then I switched majors a couple times. Ended up getting a sports management degree from NDSU, which was great. And then Fargo had an academy open up through Lake Region, and I went through it, and I loved it. So
yeah. And so now tell us about some of the things that you do as part of your job and your role with West Fargo PD.
Yeah, so I'm a patrol officer. So I patrol the streets during the day on our schedule, but I also work with the social media team. I work with the Lifesaver program. I also do a lot of stuff with our car graphics through our squads. And I recently got added to the drone team with West Fargo.
Okay, very cool. Now, you've been honored for a bunch of different things. You've been awarded the Active Shooter Response Ribbon. That was back in 2016, the Stork Pin in 2017, and the Commendable Service Award in 2017 and 2018. I want to ask you about a couple of those. Tell me about the Active Shooter Response Ribbon. What happened with that?
That was the Jason Mosier incident. So that was one of those where there's a lot of agencies involved, and a lot of guys stepped up and helped the community. We were just working that night, and, we did our part. So,
What was that night like as you look back? It's been a couple of years now, but
yeah, I mean, it was a different night. I was working night shift in training. I was on the FTO program with my FTO. I ended up coming to work a little earlier just because we knew what was going on, as we were heading into work. And when I got into work, they just sent us over right away. We got dressed, and my FTO was there and ready, and we headed over to that incident.
Yeah, and nobody knew. We knew there was a standoff. Yep. We knew that there was somebody who was obviously disturbed at the time, but nobody had any idea what would happen that night.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I had the information I had was from the news and from what you saw on social media and stuff, and just happened to go into work a little earlier thinking, we might have to go help out or cover calls from Fargo just with what they were dealing with.
Yeah. What's that feeling like when you're kind of wrapping up, you're going around and how's everybody doing? Then you hear the news. What's that like?
It's very tough. Even though I didn't know Jason, but I knew guys who did. And I just being in that brotherhood of law enforcement, even though it was early on in my career at the time, it's one of those things that you never hope to happen again.
Yeah. And then on a much happier note, in 2017, you got the Stork Pin. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, it's one of those crazy things in law enforcement. You think of, all the other stuff that you're going to, but yeah, delivering a baby, I guess, is always one of those things. Myself and my sergeant at the time, we arrived on scene first. He did a little more of the heavy lifting than I did, but yeah, it's one of those crazy things to bring life in the world.
There you go.
Did they name the baby after you?
They did not, no.
Not even a middle name? Darn.
Don't push, we're almost there.
Now, I've got to ask you about the video that went viral, the Backstreet Boys with the Big Sandy's Donuts, and tell us a little bit about what that experience was like, because I'm sure you guys were like, let's have a little fun, whatever, and then it turns out to be this huge thing.
Yeah, and some of these things come down to pure chance and pure luck, and all those lip sync videos were going pretty viral at the time, and then law enforcement were getting involved. And anytime the public can see that side of you is always a good thing for us on our end. And we just happened to choose a Backstreet Boys video, which is, most people know most of their songs,
Yeah.
And when we did the video, it took us one take, surprisingly, if you can believe it.
Is that right?
Yep. And
oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
We had one of our people that was working with the department at the time help us piece it together. When we posted it around noon or something, and then by the end of the night, we were at millions of views.
Yes.
And then later on in the week, GMA just happened to post a contest of lip syncing that same video and the same song through Backstreet Boys because I guess they were going to be on, and then our faces end up on the New York Times, square billboard. So it's pretty crazy, to be, go from just making a fun video for the community to going nationally.
Well, you can't go wrong with Cops and Donuts. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah,
it was funny. I wanted that way, right? That was the lyrics. And you guys got the big Sandy donut in your hand, and it was just so fun. And law enforcement, I think, has done such a good thing with trying to be more approachable and lighthearted because, I mean, we get to know you guys a little bit just from being around you as much as we are. And you guys have as much fun as anybody. There's no doubt, maybe more than most of us because of how heavy the job is sometimes. But people don't often get to see that side of you. So there is kind of something nice about the way you guys are able to have fun with some of these things.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, working with the social media team, it's good to put those things out there. Just stopping a kid and giving them a free ice cream cone certificate or shooting some hoops with them in the park. Those are the things that we want to push out to the public and show them that, we're just like everybody else, but sometimes, we got to do the harder parts of the job, but we don't mind stopping and engaging with the public for sure.
What's it like working with the gang over at West Fargo PD? It seems like it's a really fun bunch.
Yeah, it's a great group of guys. Every shift gets along together and same coercively through each shift. We have great administration over there and great leaders at the top that push us to, the good officers that we are.
Yeah, and you've done so many different things already. You've been on the squad for what, 5 years or so?
That's
something
correct.
Like that. Yeah, already a lot of things you've done, and we just want to say thanks to you and everybody at West Fargo PD. We're tipping our cap to Grant today, but really we're saying thanks to the entire PD over there. Heath Yonke, the chief, has been wonderful to us, and what a great liaison he has been between the department and the community. And everybody knows him over at West Fargo. He's at every community thing going on, it seems like, and he gets out a lot, and I think everybody likes Heath, and he's been, I think he had kind of put that good face forward for the entire department, and it seems like you guys have a really neat thing going on over there. So keep up the great work. Thanks for all you do, and we appreciate you coming in and having some fun with us here this morning.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate it.
You bet. Grant Richardson, and he is the honoree this month in the Luther Family Ford Salute to Law Enforcement. So congratulations to Grant.